Have you ever said yes to something and felt a heavy, sinking feeling the moment the word left your mouth? Have you ever agreed to something you did not want, not because you wanted to help, but because you were afraid of what would happen if you said no? Have you ever looked back at your week, your month, your year, and realized that most of it was spent living for other people's needs, while you sat quietly in a corner, waiting for a turn that never came? If yes, then this story is for you. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by golden fields and tall oak trees, there lived a young woman named Sara. Sara was a weaver. Her hands were quick and her work was beautiful. People came from other villages just to buy her cloth. She had a real gift, and she knew it. But Sara had one problem. She could not say no. If her neighbor needed help with the children, Sara said yes. If her cousin needed money, Sara said yes. If the village committee needed someone to organize the market, Sara said yes. If a friend needed company at midnight, Sara said yes. She said yes to everything, and she smiled every time she said it. But behind the smile, something was slowly breaking. Her own work was piling up. Orders she had promised were weeks late. The cloth she wanted to create for herself, the one she had been dreaming about for years, sat untouched on her loom, gathering dust. Every morning she woke up already exhausted, not from sleeping badly, but from knowing that the day ahead belonged to everyone except her. One evening, after spending the entire day helping her neighbor move furniture while her own deadline passed without a single thread woven, Sara sat on the floor of her workshop and cried. Not the kind of crying that feels like relief, the kind that feels like defeat. Her older sister Nadia came in and sat beside her without a word. After a long silence, Sara said, I don't understand. I help everyone. I never say no. Why do I feel so empty? Nadia looked at her gently, but honestly. Because you have been lying, Sara. Sara looked up. What? Every time you said yes when you wanted to say no, Nadia said quietly. You told that person that your time doesn't matter. Your dreams don't matter. Your exhaustion doesn't matter. You smiled and lied. And the person who has been hurt most by those lies is you. Sara was quiet for a long time. But people need me, she finally said. Nadia nodded. Some of them do, but not all of them. And not always. And even the ones who truly need you, they deserve your honest yes, not your frightened one. There is a difference. She stood up and looked at the dusty loom in the corner. What is that cloth you always talk about making? The one with the blue and gold? Sara looked at the loom. I never had time. No, Nadia said firmly. You always had the time. You just kept giving it away before you could use it. She left Sara alone with those words. That night, Sara sat at her loom for the first time in months, not to fill an order, not to help anyone, just for herself. And as her fingers moved through the threads, something inside her that had been locked for a very long time began to open. The next morning, a friend came asking Sara to spend the day helping repaint her house. Sara took a breath. Her heart was beating fast. I can't today, she said. I have my own work to finish. Her friend looked surprised. Really? But you always help. I know, Sara said with a calm smile. But today I need to be here. Her friend left. Sara waited for the guilt. It came, but it was smaller than she expected. And beneath, it was something else entirely. Something that felt like self-respect beginning to grow back after a very long absence. Week by week, she practiced it. The honest no. The gentle but firm boundary. And slowly, her workshop came back to life. The orders were finished on time. The blue and gold cloth was finally completed. And when people saw it at the market, they stopped walking and stared. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever made, because it was the first thing she had made entirely for herself. So, my friend, if you have been saying yes when everything inside you is screaming no, hear this clearly today. Every yes you give from fear costs you something real. Your time, your energy, your dreams, your peace. And every honest no you give from a place of self-respect is not a rejection of the person asking. It is a promise to the person you are still trying to become. Your yes means nothing if you are not allowed to say no. Protect your time, honor your heart, and finish the cloth you have been leaving on the loom. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Tales with English, where every story helps you learn English and learn life.